Be careful what you believe because it might just come true. Look at people that you've known in your life, where they always just seem to have spoken things into existence. Where someone who have all these fears and worries and concerns about people doing certain things, and then eventually it just seemed to have keep coming true. And at momentary phases in their life, it will just keep recurring and happening. And you can look at that person and be like, man, I'm sorry, why does this, things just don't seem to keep working your way? Or why is it that for some other people, things always seem to be working their way? What's different? Are they lucky? Is it luck? Is it coincidence? Or is something on a deeper level happening here? Do they believe that they deserve that reality, therefore they're putting that out there, and therefore they're being received that way by the external reality, and therefore met back with it? If I can go to someone feeling angry and negative emotions, how would I not infect them to some degree, unless they have great willpower, which a lot of people don't? How would I not infect them and in some way be met back with that same energy? Things are actually quite likely to be a mirror in this world. So when that person that you're thinking of, where maybe things just don't seem to keep happening or going their way, maybe they're speaking that into existence. Not even speaking, maybe they're putting that vibrational frequency out and therefore just being met back with it. So does that mean whatever vibrational frequency that you operate on, you're going to tend to be met back with that over a long enough time horizon, that your reality will then start to crystallize around that vibration and frequency that you are emanating that matches a particular kind of person? When you look at people who have a lot of things that you want, let's say you want to be more successful, you want to have more money, you want to have a better relationship. When you look at people who have those things, do they emit a different type of vibrational frequency and are therefore met back with that kind of frequency? And their world seems to start forming around that they are emanating? Or were they just lucky? Did they choose to emit that vibrational frequency and operate on that level? Or were they in a low frequency and they just got lucky and all of a sudden had a loving partner, all of a sudden had all this wealth? I doubt it. So with this concept, in order to really start curating a reality that you want, you must start operating and emitting that vibrational frequency that matches that reality. So you can be met with that frequency and met with the reality that is then starting to crystallize and form as a representation of what you are emitting. So if you want a great partner, you must first be a great partner and act like one and be like one. Emit the same vibration and frequency as one. Be loving. If you want people to love you, you must first learn to love. What people do is that they want love. I want it. But the place of wanting love means you don't have it. Therefore, you are emitting that vibrational frequency of not having. And you're going to be met back with that. Because everything is a mirror. It's a reflection. You're going to attract that same vibrational frequency into your life. This is why family members of mine just seem to have things go wrong with them all the time. This is why in my life things seem to always go right. What vibrational frequency are you emitting? What story are you identifying with that has a vibrational frequency attached to it that just keeps attracting it? You can consciously want something great, but your subconscious can be resonating on a different frequency. Of course I want this. I want a good partner. I want to be in shape. Does your subconscious believe you can have that? When your conscious mind starts to go away, let's say when you're getting in a drowsy state, a sleep state, or you're not thinking anymore, what's your default? What's under it? What's under the conscious mind? What is your subconscious doing? Because your subconscious is the written program that's controlling a large part of most people's lives. If everyone operated more through their conscious brain, they would have a lot more control of their circumstance. But the thing is, subconscious programming is obviously designed to make things easier. Otherwise, I'd have to keep relearning how to tie my shoelace every day. So our subconscious starts to learn these things and create a pattern, a format, a program that runs on automation. So what is your automated program? What's that vibrational frequency being emitted from that? Because as long as your subconscious programming is written in a certain way, you'll keep finding ways to go back to it unless you rewire it and habituate the new actions and habits and person and frequency of where you're now stepping into. So it's actually about not doing all the tips and tricks in the world. When it comes to getting in shape, how much information is there out there? The 3 tips and tricks, this recipe, this... I'm a fitness coach and I look at it and I cringe. You really think it's another 3 tips that's going to get you from being fat as fuck to getting in shape? You really think it's 3 fucking tips on an Instagram reel? You don't think it's how you see yourself and your self-esteem, your belief system that's influencing your actions to then pick up the fucking burger and keep eating it. You don't think it's your association and your value system putting food on the pedestal and because, oh, my family's a big culture to eat and subconscious wiring, story that you've identified yourself with, frequency that's been emitted from that. Yeah, it's just what we do, and now you're going to go try to work on the 3 tips to start losing weight because you've got to change this to this. Yeah, but you can use muscles so much to try and change something temporarily until you fatigue and you go back to the subconscious program, which most people do. And they wonder why, oh, it worked, but then after a couple of months I just went back. You didn't change the subconscious program. You didn't change the wiring that had occurred through most of your life that got you to where you are right now. You haven't changed that. You're ignoring it. You think it's the tips and tricks. You keep buying programs without realizing it's just personal development. And then all of the hows and the little nitty gritty tips and tricks, it's very easy to teach that once we fix the main shit. All of my clients, I give them the tips and tricks, but I'm working on the core. I'm working on what story that they've identified with, and I'm developing them. I'm developing them. Because if they don't develop, they're not going to get in shape and keep it. They think they can just buy their way. I invested money into this, couple $1,000. I feel great now because I've got a coach. And I'm doing my keto plan. Fuck the keto, it's not the keto plan that's going to fix all your problems. It's changing your fucking worldview. It's changing the way that you associate and see food. It's changing who you are, your vibrational frequency, the things that you resonate with. I resonate with taking care of myself because I want to feel good. I love how it feels. I have a vibrational frequency that resonates with that. Therefore, all the how-to solves itself. Why would I eat like shit if it lowers my frequency? It doesn't align, it doesn't match. That's not the identification and story that I live by. That is not real, by the way. I can manipulate it however I want, but it doesn't align with the frequency and state that I want to be in. I'm not going to alter my state to a lower level for the sake of pleasure and taste of food. So having that awareness is key. Now, how do I change the subconscious programming? How do I do it? Okay, first of all, you need to just be fucking aware that you're being run and it's not you, it's just a program. Okay? I believe, I can't remember who he was, not Bob Proctor, or some other guy, Bruce Lipton. He says in the first 7 years or so of growing up, that's when you're most influenced for subconscious programming, okay? And it's not that you can't after that, it's just obviously a little bit more effort that's required to do so, All right. So you can do it by a few means. The first one is just habituation. Now, when the subconscious program starts to, you start to, okay, so first step is conscious awareness. Now, when that event occurs, they call it a trigger, yeah? When the trigger occurs, so where you have that subconscious almost reaction about to happen, you feel it coming, you bring conscious attention to it. Oh, that's not me. Okay, you observe it and realize it's not you, so you detach from it. You become the observer. You bring conscious awareness to it. That's step one. That's not me. Oh, interesting. The program is starting to come up. Very interesting. So detachment is the first thing, awareness. It can be tough when you're feeling it, but if you can look at it logically as much as possible during that period of time, that's a great skill to have. So you bring that conscious attention to it. Now, what do? Now, instead of following the footsteps of that, you then do what the version of yourself you want to become does. You follow through with those actions that person does. Okay? So you start to habituate the new actions, because if you are doing those actions, therefore, so if you do those actions in that situation of time, what makes you different from actually being that person, because you're doing the same thing. Okay? And you start doing this over and over again, you bring conscious awareness to it. Whenever that old subconscious program comes up, and then you observe, and then you replace what would have followed with then the new action that aligns with the person that you want to be. Therefore, you are at that moment. Because remember, the state of wanting means you don't have. So it never serves to say, I want this, I need this. It serves to say, I am. I am. This is just me, is what I do. Because this is the only moment that ever exists. There's no old moments anymore. The future doesn't exist. There's only now. This is the only period of time that exists. So that's habituating it. The other way is by influencing your subconscious mind when your conscious mind isn't active. Therefore, when you're starting to doze and go to sleep, your brain enters what's called a theta state. That's when the subconscious mind is really starting to get at play and the conscious mind is starting to slip away. Right before you go into bed. Prime time to start indoctrinating yourself. Okay? Affirmations, so on and so forth during this period of time. You can do that as well. But that habituation is so key. And then holding very clearly and strongly onto the vision. You must have a very clear picture. You must know how it looks, you must know how it feels, and you must hold on to that vision, and you must pull it here to now and start being that vision, being that individual who created that vision. This is why you hear who, not how. You must be that person now. Therefore you are, because it's the only moment that exists. So nothing else exists but this moment. So whatever vibrational frequency you choose to emit, the who that you're deciding to be is the only thing that exists. Therefore you are. So you start shifting your identity to the rehabituation of the new actions that come from the new who. And the only person who will get in the way of this process is yourself, and attachments to old identities that don't exist anymore, and allowing the subconscious mind to keep running you and your actions. And then the other thing that may get in the way, if you let it, is other people's imposing beliefs that don't serve the new who that you are. Because there's only one moment that exists. So you are, I am. And most people allow other people, that's not you, because the moment you start to shift and your vibrational frequency starts to elevate, all the people who you resonated with at the same frequency that you were at before will try to bring yours down to match theirs. Otherwise, there's going to be a natural dissonance. The frequencies don't match. Why are you're not coming out with us? We're getting drinks with the boys. Oh, dissonance, mismatch. Now, what can happen here is one of either ways. You either lower yours back down to match theirs, you don't want to disappoint them. Oh yeah, you're right, I'll come out, I'll have a few drinks. Boom, your vibrational frequency matches again, and then you've sacrificed and compromised that new you that you were. Okay, that vibrational frequency. Or you can elevate them to you. Obviously, easier said than done. It's other people now that are in control, but that's another way. which is elevating them to you. Or the third alternative is you just move on. You don't match anymore, and they're not willing to elevate to your status. If they're not willing to, that's your cue to do you. If they're not willing to, that's your cue to do you. Not them, to do you. The only reason why it would ever be harder than what it should be is that you're resisting the change because you're holding on and you're attached. But you have to let go of those attachments if you want to get to the next level. You have to let go and allow change to happen. Don't resist it. It can actually happen very quick if you let it. Your life can turn around very quick if you let it, and don't get in the way. And don't hold on to old narratives that slow it down. Invisible strings pulling you back is what most people do. Allow the change to happen. Don't resist it. The identity that the old version of you had was just perception. Then that influenced your actions. Identities a made-up concept. It's not real. It's what your mind conjures to try and solidify things and attach to things. But it's not real. Therefore, you can recreate however you want. There's no limitation. The only limitation is yourself. Old narratives, old stories, all of which don't exist. People's opinions, all of which don't matter. It's still your choice. You can just choose to change. My friends and I change every week, every day. This house, it's nice. No, we want better. Boom, got the other one secured. Done. We allow the change to happen. Because why not? Why not? Why not just keep elevating? Elevating more frequency. Believe, achieve. We believe we can. Therefore, we emit the frequency of the person who just can do that. And then, therefore, we do those actions that create it. It's so interesting, right? Think about this. People say, oh, the top 1%, what are the chances of being in the top 1%? You know what the chances are? If you want it to be, 100%. It can be 100% if you emit the same vibrational frequency and act as the top 1%. That's a 100% chance of being in the top 1% by just simply acting like that percent. And therefore you are in the top 1%. Oh, but no, because you're not technically making the same amount of money. Okay, you want to play that game? Sure, limit yourself. But what's the point? Create beliefs that serve you. Because here's the thing, if you can identify as top 1% and therefore act and emit the same vibrational frequency and be like that top 1%, eventually everything around you, your perception of the outer world will crystallize and start forming to then reflect it. Remember what I said, everything is a mirror. So there might be a slight delay in the perception of the outer world of the numbers in the bank account or whatever, but it all starts here. You must be the top 1% here first, before it starts to crystallize out here. You must be the top 1%, the 0.1%, 0.01% here first, before it starts to reflect out here. So people will try to tell you, but you're not, look at your bank account. Ignore. I am top 0.1%. I am. Ignore. I am. Ignore. Be around the people who are. I am. Resonate in the same frequency. I am. All of a sudden, whoop, numbers in the bank account is increasing. I am. No, but looks like you're still not there. No, ignored. Or elevate, come do what I'm doing. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Focus here. I am. Hold on to the vision. Bring it here into the now. Do the same thing that person does. This is what I'm doing. Okay, faced with this situation. This is what this person does. I am. Therefore, this is what I'm going to do. Because I am that person. I emit that frequency. I will handle it this way, the same way that kind of person does. Which actually I do because I am the 0.1%. I hold on to this belief, this vision, bring it into the now, and everything's curated around it. That's how I get received from the world. because that's all they see, because this is the only moment that exists. Don't get in your own way. Don't allow others to influence you. Therefore, don't get in your own way. Because you're getting in your own way by allowing others to influence your actions that don't align with the new you. This is how you do it. You'll be called unreasonable, extreme, crazy, all of these things. But everything's meaningless until you assign a meaning to it, so create your own. It's to your liking, this world. Create it. Hold strong onto your vision, your frequency. Raise your state, your vibration. Bring that vision into the now. Just be that person. I believe in you.